student section and how they've come out in full force in our first 2 home contests and really filled that thing up, and how much we appreciate it, how much it means to the team that they come out and, again, fill that thing up and get loud. Look forward to having them at another great home game this weekend, and hope we have their continued support all year. We hope we can turn that student section into a really live atmosphere and a real home field advantage. And so we appreciate those guys coming out. I think we all know that we played a really good Texas team, and looking back at the film, we did a lot of good things. We ran into a bit of a buzzsaw with their athleticism. I thought they were well coached. I thought they played really hard, and some big freaky dudes, to say the least. In the last week, looking at last week, I think that we saw some of our players really do some big things under some big lights in a big game. I think Blaze Aldridge was spectacular with 8 or 9 tackles, 4.5 tackles for a loss, and the sack. You know, I think the biggest compliment you can get is when you have friends on the other staff and they text you about his play and how much of an impact he had in the game. I thought that was really exciting. I think I look at our offense and see some of the things that were really good there. I think Austin Trammell certainly looked like he believed in any game that could be played. And I think his confidence is continuing to grow. Justin Gooseberry's another guy that got a lot of recognition from the scouts coming out of that game and had a really solid performance as well. Again, there's bright spots, and then there's the things like that keep popping up at the end of the game. The kickoff return was a real negative as we were starting to have some progress on offense and defense. The kickoff return was not what we wanted to see late in the fourth quarter. But anyway, we're going to keep building. We've got a coaching staff and a group of players, a group of men that are coming into this building and are just working. They're doing the things that I want from them week in and week out. This team has heard me talk a ton about process and plan, just like you all have. And we understand that we're in the middle of the process and the plan. We're starting to see small victories, and we want to see big victories. So the only way to fix that, the only way to get where we want to come out the other side is to continue to work. I think the reality, the toughest part of striving for greatness is the journey, very simply. And we know that, we acknowledge that, and we all want it to happen faster. Promise nobody faster, and nobody's in more of a rush for it to occur than me. But we're going to step back and keep working on the process and work on the things that win games, and know that we're building a very solid culture. And also we're working and looking forward to taking those steps that become those big things that we talked about, those wins. And as we know, it's a bottom line business. This weekend, great Baylor team coming in here. They've scored a ton of points. Their offense has been on fire. They've made some shifts defensively to play more 3 down. Still, obviously, they have the ability to go 4 down and play some of that, so we're going to have to prepare for both. But I think Coach Rule and his football team are outstanding. I think the way he's built them, the physical presence that they have, the physical mindset, the mental toughness that they exude on film, I'm just so impressed with what he and his coaching staff have been able to build there. Coach Rule's been a great friend and mentor to me since I took this job. And I never do this. I never call a head coach the week we're going to play. But I called him Sunday night. He answered on the first ring like he always did. I don't think he was quite as willing to give me advice this week as some other times he has been. But I hope we'll go back to being really good friends when this one ends. But a bunch of talented guys on their team. I think they're doing some great things. But the thing that stands out to me is the physical level that they're playing at and the level of execution on both sides of the ball. They're doing a great job right now. With that, I'll open up for any questions.
Mike, can you update us on Wiley Green's situation?
Yeah, Wiley practiced full yesterday and took some reps with the ones and has done some really good things to come back. He's still getting treatment, but he is cleared to practice, and we think that there's a good chance. We don't want to rush him back, but we think there's a good chance he's going to play this Saturday.
Do you expect he could start?
He could. Yeah, we'll just, again, it's a little premature to say that for sure, Mark, but he's trending the right way.
We've answered this question a few times, but working through this schedule before you get to conference, the challenges and difficulty, because it is one of the toughest in the country.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being the toughest 4-game stretch in the country. And again, like, all we can play is those ones they put in front of us. This is another Power 5 bowl team coming in here this weekend. And to me, what I talked to the players about yesterday is the challenge that is and how exciting that is. You know, like, you go back to martial arts and you think about, like, inviting the best to your dojo. So iron can sharpen iron and you can be tested. And we haven't passed those tests yet, but we are getting better because of it. And this is another one where I don't think anybody on our team is going to walk into that stadium as a sacrificial lamb and say, here I am, slay me. We're going to go out there and fight. And if we can play better, if we can play and lean more on our technique, who knows? We just want to take this team to deep water in the fourth quarter and see how this thing comes out.
Can you talk a little bit about the similarities that you see between the Texas and those offenses?
Between their offenses? Well, I guess this. I mean, Brewer is where it starts for them, just like Ellinger is for Texas. He's a talented kid. These guys have more of a stable of explosive backs, so I think that's a similarity. There's more talented backs. Obviously, Texas went into it. We weren't sure if they'd have more than one back. Talented offenses in that regard. The Mims kid, number 5, has been exceptional the last couple of weeks, so they got explosive talent down the field, too. That's the bottom line. They're a bowl team. They're probably not quite as old as Texas is when you look across the roster. I saw Matt said the other day that in his 2 years and 2 games, he's played 81 true or redshirt freshmen. That's an unbelievable number. So you can tell exactly how he's done it. He's really grown that thing from the bottom. And now he's got his guys, and they're fighting, but they're not quite as old or as developed. Maybe it's Texas, but they're flying around. There's a couple people that are just playing at a high level for the Baylor Bears right now.
Can you talk a little bit more about that and maybe some of the advice that was with you last year?
Yeah, he's been very open about everything and telling me, this is how I package it to my team and things like that, and making sure everybody understands the growth that has to happen. Staying positive while keeping your team accountable and making them realize the why the result was what it was, why this play went that way, but just continuing to stay positive and work. And again, building it from the ground, because that's what he had to do. I don't know his numbers in terms of the roster when he took over, but I remember it was mass exodus as that thing went south over there. And now he's just done such a good job building the culture there. If you ever hear him talk, you can tell he's the son of a minister. He is going to be convicted about what he talks about. It's hard not to believe him and be ready to go play for him when you hear him talk. And he talks about things that I just believe in so completely. Talks about if we don't train this development, there are these generations to be mentally tough and to fight through. Who will? And the answer is nobody. And that was in his address to high school coaches at THSCA. Oh man, he's just unbelievable as a speaker, but he is that rock solid of a man is what I've seen in every interaction with him.
Coach, you said you've seen good things and progress so far this season. One non-conference game left. Obviously, you want to win, but what's the next step you need to see from your team this week to know that you're on track?
I think 4 quarters, and really being able to go with the model that we say, which is start fast, stay focused, and finish strong. And at no point have we really done that this year. We started really fast defensively against Army. Obviously, that was a great slugfest. That was an epic game to be a part of. Wake Forest, they scored 14 on us before we could blink, and part of that was an offensive turnover. So that's tough. So I look back, and I just think if we can do that, if we can come out the gates and start fast and really get off the field on defense and punch one in, that would do so much for our confidence right now as a football team. And I'm not saying that we're fragile. I don't believe we're fragile, because you look at what happened when Wiley got injured and we fought back against Wake. But we could use some good things to happen right now.
As far as those good things, 1 or 2 areas that you've seen that you would label as the best things that your team's doing right now?
Fighting and staying together. The fact that, again, at no point did we sack our bats and just go home. I think that's the thing that would have been easy to do, especially if you look at the Texas game. And we played really poor in the first half. We really did. We did things that were very uncharacteristic of us in terms of, having some manageable situations on offense and not being able to move the sticks. We were 0 for on 3rd down in the first half. It's hard to feel good about anything because the defense is going right back out there. I think they scored touchdowns on their first 4 drives. It's tough to deal with, too. And keep fighting, to look at each other at halftime and say, hey, I'm committed to you. I'm committed to this. We've put in so much work that we're going to go out there and we're going to keep fighting. Let's see what we can get done. So that's the big thing, because there were obviously times last year where I didn't feel like we were able to, as coaches, as players, really keep the fight alive for 60 minutes. And I don't think we've ever faltered this year in that goal.
And then on your quarterback, I know that situation is up in the air, but what did you see from Tom after getting a chance to look at the film, and how do you feel about his outlook for where he can contribute going forward?
Yeah, I thought Tom did a really good job doing what we asked him to do in that plan. You know, he made every kill that was appropriate. He handled things that needed to be handled protectionally. He protected the football. And that's something that early on, when things build up for Tom, in my opinion, when the red zone stuff, the second week of training camp was added in, I think like one thing that got lost is like his ability to protect the ball and make great decisions. And I thought he made really good decisions the other night. I thought he elongated plays, made a couple plays with his feet, scrambling for positive yards in some instances where maybe we'd have taken a sack in the past, to just keeping a play down alive and hitting the big one downfield to August. You know, that's like a janitor throw, man. He crow hopped into it, ball went on a rope. So those are some things that are really positive. I think Tom has earned our trust and has earned some playing time. So regardless of how things go, this week in practice, you're going to see Tom Stewart in this game on Saturday.
Anything else?
All right, thank you all very much.